All right, welcome to this episode of the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Excited to spend some time with you again, talking about various business principles and things that we can do to grow and develop our business. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the power of niche marketing, which is something that is very, very important. And it's something that we need to make sure that we have figured out on the front end of when we're really putting together and building our business. Now, when I say this, what do I specifically mean? What I'm really talking about is targeting a specific segment of a broader market with your messaging and your offers. And it's getting very, very specific with exactly who it is that you're helping, who it is that you're serving. Who are the people that you're trying to reach? And too many times, whether as business owners, we're like, well, I want to have lots of people that would want what I offer. I want lots of people that would be interested in what I do. And so we try and be broad and we try and offer as much as we can to as many people as we can in the hopes that people that will appeal to more people and more people will come by from us. And the reality is it actually works quite the opposite, is that when you're too broad, people don't understand who you are. People don't understand what you're about. They don't understand, is this the right product for me? Is this the right service for me? Because you're too vague, you're too broad, you're too general. And people are just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what this is or what this is going to do, what this is about. And so they don't know that if you really get their situation, they're unsure do you really get me? Or are you just applying some really broad brush strokes to a problem and assuming that it's going to work for me in my specific situation? And what people really want is they want to know, like, wait a minute, you understand my struggle. You understand the problem that I have. This is exactly what I want. And, we were, last week we had to go out and look for a different refrigerator. And it was one of those things where we went to a couple different stores, and the first store we went to was just very general and had very just broad-based items. And here it's just like, the middle, is a big store, one of the large retailers that sells these things. And they were not helpful. We knew exactly, we have a space in our kitchen where there's a little built-in space where the refrigerator needs to go. And so we knew that refrigerator, and it couldn't just be any size. It needed to be a specific size. Otherwise, there was going to be a big gap. And it was going to look really dumb. It was going to look really odd. So the refrigerator needed to be a specific size. And so we couldn't, we are limited on the options that we have, because if the refrigerator is too small, it's just going to look dumb. There's going to be huge gaps on the side, and it's just not going to look good at all. And so we went with a very specific objective. Here we are a very niched in customer. We need to know that, hey, we need a refrigerator, but this refrigerator has to be this exact size to fit these exact dimensions. And it needs to go so that it looks right in the space and it fits correctly. And when the first store we went to, it was like, well, we have this one here. And, my wife was like, yeah, that's 6 inches too short. We're going to have a big old gap at the top of just empty space. And it's not the right size. And the lady was like, oh, well, what about this one? Well, that's not the right size either. How about this one? I'm like, okay, what it left us with is they were not hearing us. They did not understand us. They did not hear our problem. And we left there and didn't buy anything. And we were like, nope, absolutely not. This is absolutely not the people that we want to help us, because they're too broad. They're very wide. They're just casting a net. Well, we have refrigerators here, just general refrigerators. And we're like, no, we have a specific problem with a specific need. And so we went to a second store, and that second store had the exact thing we were looking for. And they understood exactly what we were talking about. They were much more specialized. So they were like, yep, We know exactly what you're talking about. These are the exact dimensions that you're looking for. Yep, we have models exactly in that line. We specialize right in this space. We got exactly what we need. And bam, a little bit later, we bought a refrigerator and it was done. And my point of that story is in doing that, they heard us. You see, in the first story we went to, it felt like we weren't even being heard. They're just like, oh, refrigerator. Here's a refrigerator. And they're just throwing some blanket answer to us. Oh, here's one. Like, no, you're not hearing us. You don't understand us. You're not hearing what we need. We don't just need something that's going to look stupid in the space. Like there's 4 inches on the sides and 6 inches up top of gap. That's going to look terrible. Like we can't do that. We can't operate like that. We have to have the right size. And so because of that, it was a general offer for a specific problem. And when you go to market and when you're offering a very generic solution, you're offering something that's very broad-based and very just wide, people feel like, yeah, you don't get it. You don't understand what I'm going through. So no, thank you. And then the next person feels the same way because their problem may not have been the same as ours, but they also have a very specific need. And they're going, yeah, I'm not, nope. I need something different. I need to go somewhere else who truly understands me and gets me. And that's why niche marketing really works so well. When you dial things in, when you specifically get things honed in, so you know these exact people right here, these are the people I'm designed to help. Bam! As soon as they see you and hear you, you're like, that's the person I need to work with. That's the person I need to buy from because they get me. They understand me. They know what I'm trying to do. They get what my problem is. They understand me, and they're the ones I want to buy from. They're the ones I want to work with because they get it. They understand it. And so what all this does and why this is so powerful and why it works is you're building these stronger connections with your audience. Because I will now go back, for the next time I need an appliance, I will go back to these other guys 10 times before I want to go back to the other guys once. Because I went there and they knew exactly what I needed. They heard me. They weren't just saying, well, what about this one? Well, what about that one? And ignoring the very things that we told them what our needs were. No, the person that was there said, okay, I understand. And I'm used to working with people just like you who have specific needs, that you need something that fits in this specific space. Great. Here's your 3 options. We have 3 options that are exactly that space. Here's this one, this one, this one. Take a look, see what you think. I'll answer any questions. I'm here to help you. And it was just like, done. This is so much easier, so much better. And so what ends up happening is by becoming that way, you end up having less competition. In all honesty, because no one else is speaking to that exact niche in the marketplace. No one else is speaking to those exact needs. And so people are like, no, I'm going to be loyal to them. I'm going to keep going to them. I'm going to go exactly to this place. And so you get much more loyal customers. You have less competition because no one else is speaking to this group of needs that you need, that you're addressing this need because you understand the market. And they're going, yep, I want to work with them. So you get a much higher conversion rate. You become recognized as a brand authority in your space because, again, like with this refrigerator situation, they now have my loyalty. And I'm looking at it going, they're the ones that have what I need. They're the ones that understand a customer like me. They're the ones that know how to meet my need. They're not going to just throw some generic, here, refrigerator, sure, here's one. No, they're actually meeting a specific need. They heard me. They understood me. And as a result, they met exactly what I needed. And so as you're doing this, you may be saying, well, how do you become that type of a provider? How do you craft your offers in that way? Well, first of all, you have to understand who these people are that you're serving, right? It's hard for you to meet that specific need if you don't know who these people really are. If you don't know what their attributes are, who they are, what they're like, and what they're about. So you really need to understand who is this target customer that you're trying to serve. And in our Design Launch Grow program, one of the things that we really focus on is authors, coaches, speakers, course creators, and trainers. That's really people who are in that space, people who have a message that they want to turn into a business. Those are really people who, hey, those are the people that really we're dialed into, we're targeting, we're focused on, because that's our message. Now, we've had other people look at us and ask if we could help them. And I'm like, you know what? I value people who want to be insurance agents or want to do other types of things. Those are great businesses as well. But we're not ideally suited to help you. That's not our niche. That's not what we really belong. So we're much better off focusing on helping the people in our space. And so as a result, people who are in that space, people who are content creators, people who are authors, coaches, course creators, trainers, speakers, they're sitting there going, that's my group. You're specifically working with people like me. This is where I want to be. I don't want to buy some generic marketing program. I want to go and be a part of something that's working directly with people who want to build businesses just like what I want to do. You see how that becomes so much stronger. So you need to understand, what are their unmet needs? Who are those people? What is it that they're not getting currently? What is the problem that they have? What is the goal that they're trying to achieve that they haven't been able to achieve yet? They're stuck. They haven't been able to figure out how to get there. What is this audience that they're just not finding solutions? This is an underserved audience, an audience that when they look at it and they go, yeah, I'm not seeing it. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know, how this is all supposed to work. And so as a result, I'm not getting there. I'm not getting help. And so, and when you come along, all of a sudden you're like, bam, you're hitting a pain point. You're hitting a specific need that no one else is helping. No one else is serving these people. So now you're their hero. You're the one that everybody wants to talk to, because just like with us, the refrigerator, finally, when we started talking to this guy at this other store, we're like, yes, okay, he gets it. He gets our situation. He understands what we're trying to do. He understands our need. I will stay right here. I don't need to go anywhere else. We knew as soon as we were there and we started talking to this person, and he was like, yep, I know exactly what you need. Here you go. Here's your 3 choices. We have 3 options right on the floor for you to look at, whereas the other place didn't even have any. There was 0 options for us to look at. There was nothing there. They had 3 right there for us to look at. And we're like, great. This is amazing. This is perfect. We actually get to see them. We get to look at them. And they were dialed into who we were as a customer. And so how do you learn these things? First, one of the best ways to do it is talk to the people that you're trying to serve. Get to know these people. Hopefully, if you're trying to build a business for people in a certain niche, you already know something about them. I'm hoping that you already have a good understanding of who these people are and what they're about. But if you don't, just start meeting with people, asking them questions. You can put out a survey. You can have different things where you could just ask questions. Best way to learn what somebody's thinking and feeling and hoping for is you got to ask them, and that could be get on a phone call with somebody or get on a Zoom call with someone and just meet with them and talk with them and get to know them, and then do it with another person and another person. And what's going to happen is you're going to start to understand themes. You're like, I've talked to 5 people and all of them kind of are wanting the same type of things. They're all needing these same types of things. And if I can serve that need, I've got something here. I'm meeting a need that is currently unmet. And I'm serving an audience that feels neglected right now. They're not getting the help that they need. And if I can step into this gap and do this, this is going to be great. This is going to be amazing. And so you do these things, you have to get clear on your demographics, your psychographics, your behaviors, the things that they want, and what are their hopes, what are their fears, what are their dreams. Demographics are things like their age, like what age range are we talking about here? Are we talking about young adults, college age? Are we talking about people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s? Are we talking about retirees? What age range are we talking about? Are we talking about predominantly women or men, or does it not matter? Are we talking about people that live in a certain part of the country that speak one language, or is this not really you need to understand what are the important metrics here? What are the things that when you look at them, you go, that's the most important thing. That's the most important factors in who these people are, and what it is that they want and what they need and what they're afraid of and what's holding them back. And so you create an avatar of them, and you create this story about who these people are. And it's just this powerful thing that you can do to get to know exactly what these people are wanting for their life. And if you know that, as soon as they hear you, they're going to go, you get it. You understand me. You know what I'm struggling with. You know where I need help. And then you can align what you do with what it is that they need. And you can show how your skill, your passion, your experience intersect with their need. And you can show I've done this and I've done that, and I'm really good at helping people do this and that and take care of these things in their life. And they're going to look at you and go, that's amazing. Can you help me? Can you do that for me? Because I would happily pay if you could help me do that. All of a sudden, we're off and running. But do you see how powerful it is when you get really specific, when you get really dialed in? And the biggest mistake you can make is trying to go too broad, trying to get too generic with what it is that you're offering, because you're trying to reach too many different people. No. And, I've seen this before too, where somebody had another idea for a business, a product in their business, and another idea and another idea. And pretty soon they have so many different products, so many different things going on in their business that no one even knows what the business is about anymore. I've seen somebody who was writing books on personal growth, then doing stuff about helping people become an author, then writing stuff on, the Web3 world and all that, then writing books on poetry, and I'm like writing things about, NFTs, and I'm like, everybody just left, because everybody's looking at him going, I don't even know what it is that you're about anymore. I don't know what this is, but this is not the place for me anymore, because I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. You're all over the board. You're talking about all these different things, and I have no reason to be here anymore. And so you need to be specific with what it is that you're doing. You need to dial that in, and you need to be very clear, and you need to be very precise in who you're serving, what are the needs that you're meeting, and how are you going to do that. And when you do that, it's important that you craft that messaging, right? That your messaging now is going to speak to that specific need. What is it? Who are those people? Who are the people that you're designed to help? And you use your language to speak directly to that audience. Now that you know who these people are, what they want, what they're trying to achieve, what they're trying to do, you know that. And when you get to understand that at a deep level, when you really get clear on, this is exactly what these people need. This is what they want. And I know what their fears are. I know what's stopping them. I know what's holding them back. And as a result, I know how to solve that. I know how to help that. And you're going to start speaking the language of your audience. Your audience is going to be like, wow, you get me. Because there's going to be certain terms that you use, certain phrases that you're going to use, certain words that you're going to use that are going to be very meaningful to them. They're going to be very impactful to them, because they're going to go, wait, Only a person that truly understands what I'm doing would say that, would understand that, would use those words, because you get this. You get it. You know what I'm trying to do. You understand what it is that I'm trying to do. And now they look at you as you're a specialist. You're a person that is specifically designed to help me. Just like when we went to the refrigerator salesman, we walked into there, we saw all of a sudden all these other options that were not at the other store, who was just offering the generic stuff. And we went in, and all of a sudden, he's a specialist. He's a person that's designed to help people just like us who have specific needs. And all of a sudden, bam, the decision to buy was the easiest in the world. We were done. Just pick. It wasn't a matter of were we buying here. It was a matter of which one are we buying. And we had to go through and do a little bit of work and do a few little things. And just after a while, like, okay, it's this one. Okay, great. We're done. Because it was all sold, because we knew that we were being heard. We knew that they understood us, and then we knew that they were the people that were perfect to help us. So once you get that all dialed in, your audience will respond to your words. They will respond to the things that you were putting out there. And in doing so, what you're going to do is you're going to choose now where to find them. Now you got to know not only the messaging, but you also got to know, where are my people? Where do they hang out online? Are they Facebook people? Are they Instagram people? Are they people that go to events on Eventbrite? Are they people that hang out on LinkedIn? You have to know, where are they? So not only do you have the right message, but you know how to get the right message in front of them. Because, if your audience is on YouTube all the time and you're on Facebook and they don't really go on Facebook, well, guess what's going to happen? You may have the perfect audience that's dialed in specifically to them, but they'll never hear it because they're not there. It's like going and giving a speech, but you're speaking to a room, and your audience, your ideal audience, is in the room next door, but you're in this room and you're speaking to people that are not the right audience. You're speaking to people that are not your ideal client. So we need to make sure that you know that you are in the right place. And that's just a matter of where do your people hang out? Where do they spend time? Because like LinkedIn is for more professionals, career professionals, people who are, in the corporate world, people who are working in that type of space. And so if you are doing executive leadership and executive coaching, that's a good spot for you to be in, because people who run who are in that type of thing, who are running organizations, who are managers, who are directors, who are salespeople for companies, that's where a lot of them hang out. That's where a lot of them are. Facebook is kind of a generic bucket. It crosses like a lot of different platforms. Instagram, profiles a little bit younger than Facebook, and so on and so forth. TikTok is quite a bit younger, but you need to know your audience. Where are they? Where are the ones? And then too many times we get so hung up on, well, I need to be on all the platforms. I need to be out there on all of them. You really don't, especially not when you're first starting out. Like if you got really big and you had lots and lots of people and you're trying to just explode your business, and then you could go down that path and you could be out there and doing all these things and getting people at all these different levels, but it's not necessary in the early days of your business when you're first growing. Really not that important at all. The important thing is that you do in those days is you spend your time focusing on, where's the one place that I know my audience hangs out? Where is the one place that they spend the most of their time? And focus your messaging there, because there's going to be plenty of fish in the pond right there. You don't need to be worrying about being in 5 different platforms at the same time. That's a lot of extra work, especially when you're first starting out and time and resources are more limited. So in the early days, focus on where you know your people are. Like, I know my people go here. Okay, great. Spend your time there. Don't worry about all the other ones. Spend your time there. And then build your authority, build your community, go out and start putting things out there, put content out there, do videos, make some posts, invite people to a live training, share some case studies of some people that you worked with, put some testimonials out there that are going to engage people. Say, hey, I just so excited I was able to help Susan Jones over here. And when she came to me, she was struggling with X, Y, and Z. And now she's having such amazing success. And I'm just so proud of her and so proud of her amazing story and the things that she's been able to achieve. And your client's going to feel honored because they're going to feel like, hey, you're bragging on them, telling them how great and amazing they are. And they're going to feel like, wow, everybody's going to see that I'm having all the success of my life. I'm feeling really blessed and honored right now. And for you, other people say, how did you do that? How did you help her get those amazing results? And if you did it for her, do you think you could do it for me? And all of a sudden, people are kind of asking those questions, and they're kind of wondering, like, I kind of want that too. Do you think you could, you were able to turn that person's life around? Do you think you could do that for me? And if so, how do I start? Because I want that. I want that same result that she got. And so there's these amazing ways of just sharing things like that and doing live trainings, doing live workshops, doing a lot of live things to get things going. And, find forums, find Facebook groups, find different things where you can get active, where you can post, where you can share content, where you could, some people are very, very good at getting into Facebook groups and simply going in and finding groups that are really built around their niche. And what they do is they post helpful things, and then people comment on their posts, and then they will go out and send a friend request to the person who commented on their post, and then they'll start engaging in a messenger conversation. And a lot of times they're able to turn those into, hey, would it make sense for us to get on a quick call on Zoom? Great. I can talk to you about what it is that you're going through and try and help you with what it is that you're struggling with. Great. And then at the end, well, if you'd like to work with me, here's how it could work going forward. And there are people that make a business doing that. There are absolutely people that make a business doing just that. They post helpful content on all these different groups and forums and places where they know their ideal audience is hanging out. They wait for, and they don't ask for anything in the post. They're not selling. They're not posting, come check me out. No, they're just being helpful. They're being useful. They're putting things out there that are truly beneficial to people. And as a result, other people are commenting, saying, oh, thank you so much. And then they're kind of connecting with those people and then starting the conversation. There are people that are very adept at doing just that and getting lots and lots of clients doing that very thing. So when you do that, and when you're doing things like that, you're now speaking a language that is dialed into your target audience, is dialed into that specific group of people that are ideally suited to work with you. And this is something that I tell people all the time. And this is something that I guess I've been a little bit known for in terms of one of the, we all get, after a while, we get comments that we're known for. And this is probably one of mine, which is there are about 8 billion people in the world. 99.9% of them are not ideally suited to work with you. And that's fine. That is perfectly okay. Because think about what you could do if you merely had 1,000 or 2,000 clients. What a thriving, powerful business you could have. And depending on the type of business that you want, maybe you don't even need nearly that many. Maybe 10 clients would be powerful. Depending on how much work you do for each client and how much revenue each one generates and what all they do, you only may need 5 to 10. If you're an ad agency, 5 to 10, and you're rocking and rolling and you're killing it. And you're probably completely swamped and full up on work. But if you're doing things at a little bit lower level, you could do 1,000 or 2,000 clients. Think of what percentage that is of the 8 billion. Tiny. A tiny, tiny fraction of the total people that are out there. And yet you have an incredibly powerful, thriving business. You don't need everybody. You need your people. So focus on your people. Focus on finding that group of people that you are perfectly, ideally suited to serve. Know them, learn them, understand them, know what they're thinking, know what they're trying to achieve, know where they're stuck, know where they have problems, and learn how to help them. Learn how to be that solution. Learn how to be the person that can provide them with what they need. Learn how to do what is necessary to get them to overcome their problem, to achieve their goals, and you'll become their hero. And you'll get paid in the process, and you'll have a business that's succeeding and thriving. So to wrap things up, niche marketing isn't about thinking small. It's about thinking smart. Okay. It's not about, oh, I'm only going to serve this little group. No, not at all. It's about being smart, because if you're targeted and you know your audience, you know who you're trying to reach, your audience will immediately resonate with you, and they will want to work with you, as opposed to people who are scattered all over the board. So get focused, zero in on your audience, know who they are, serve them better than anyone else, become unforgettable for them. When you become unforgettable, people will just keep coming back to you. They want to, they'll now want to hire you for this, or now they want to hire you for that, because they know how great you are and how much you're helping them and how valuable you've become to them. When you do those things, you become their rock star. You become such an important person in their life that I can't imagine doing this without you. I can't imagine doing this alone or doing this with someone else, because they would not be nearly as good as you. They would not be nearly as helpful as you. They would not get me in the way that you get me. You understand me. You understand what I'm trying to do. And as a result, they're loyal. They convert very well all the time. And it becomes a very, very successful relationship. And then they start telling other people, no, don't go there. Go work with this person, because they're the best. They're the ones that truly get and understand what we're trying to do. So go check them out. They're the ones. And in doing so, it changes everything. It makes everything different. It makes everything more powerful. So that's it for this episode. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. If we can help you at all in your business building journey, check out designlaunchgrow.com. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you again very soon.